What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode with your boy Phrankleen. Okay, if this is your first time, if you're watching this as a playback, if you like what I'm about, be sure to hit the like button, share my videos if you like, look through my playlist. Say it like it is a segment on my channel where I discuss pretty much, everyday lives, and yeah, it spans across virtually every facets of our life. Okay. So if you like what I'm about, do give us the subscribe button if you haven't. What's going on, people? Love matters. Shugo Prince. Thank you for joining. What's up, Bees World? Happy Sunday. Yada 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 yada. Edith. Yeah. Kabiru from China. Wow. What's up, bro? Right. So some of you, Gilberto, right? Thank you for joining Oyebanji. Happy new month to everybody. Welcome to September. Welcome, welcome. The year is winding up. So I'm sure some of you might have heard of the news. It's on the news about a Nigerian social media personality known as Bob Risky and stuff. I would normally, hi, thank you for joining. I wasn't gonna get involved, but there was few reasons why I decided to, talk about this today. David Osilaja, what's going on, bro? Hi, Julie Wilson. So it's just basically this aligns with so many things that are fundamentally wrong with Nigeria as a nation. So I wasn't going to make a video about this. But as I said, this news has been doing so many rounds, and I've been reading comments online. I just got a bit infuriated, so I thought, why not? So, long story short, for those of you that are watching, maybe non-Nigerians, African Americans, if you're based in the States, or you're watching and you're based in other parts of the world, and you're not aware of Bob Risky. Bob Risky is basically a Nigerian social media personality who happens to be a cross-dresser. Okay, so he bleached his skin, and I know he sells some products, and is like an ambassador for maybe for a few products or whatever brands and whatnot. Anyway, he's well known on social media. He's got thousands of people following him and stuff like that. Okay, so but like I say, I'm not going into the regals of, I like Bob Risky or I don't like Bob Risky. I don't know anything about him more than what you're shown on social media. I don't know him on a personal level, is what I'm trying to say. But there is something that caught my attention about this. So basically, there are a few, you know, Nigerian government personnel who have, ever so often would come through the media and say, really disgusting thing about this dude and say, he's basically affecting, the youth, or basically tampering with the thought process of the young ones and influencing them negatively because of what they believe he's about. They believe he's a bad influence, blah, 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 blah. He's been called gay and all sorts of, nasty names that I'm sure is a common knowledge. I read and I just carry on with my day and stuff like that. So I understand dude had a birthday party slated for the 31st of Adas Connor. How you doing? Thank you for joining. The 31st of last month, which was what, August just done, which was yesterday. So, and the Nigerian police basically bombarded, the location, and they shut down the event before the event even started. It was meant to be packed with all sorts of personalities and celebs and people that were invited, pretty much. So, but prior to that, I think a few days ago, there was a guy, I don't even remember his name now, one of the government officials who said Bob Risky is an eyesore and stuff, and if they catch him on the streets, of Lagos. It will be dealt with and all that stuff. So Bob Risky, he's a bit of a social media reckless. He's a bit reckless in terms of how he talks. But he came online and said, I roll with your senior officers and stuff like that, try to discredit that man and all that. And I personally, as soon as I read that comment, I knew straight away that, look, man, this is going to backfire. They're going to come after you. So long story short, fast forward to yesterday, he, as it's been made, available on social media, he had this venue that he spent, and I'm sure with the involvement of a few sponsors, he spent tons of money to host his, lavish birthday party. So Nigerian police, police officers, they bombarded the venue and they shut down the whole party, and then the social media was awash with the news and stuff. So I just kind of leaned back and I shook my head. The whole thing talking about, first of all, for the benefit of this live session, what's cross-dressing? Cross-dressing is, I've got a few notes on here. It's pretty much, let me pull up something here. One quick second. It's basically wearing clothing typical of the opposite sex. Okay? There is a background to cross-dressing, but that's not what we're about here. And cross-dressing, thousands, if not millions of people are known across the globe that cross-dress and stuff, but it doesn't necessarily represent someone's sexual orientation. So what I'm trying to say for the benefit of this is, because somebody cross-dresses doesn't necessarily mean they're gay. Okay? Yes, some would say Bob Risky has been seen with boobies and bum or whatnot and stuff like that. You know what? It's none of my bloody business. Whatever floats his boat. But let's cut the chase. So here is what I'm trying to say. This guy is not doing anything to infringe on the fundamental human rights of any Nigerian or anyone else across the globe. He's not doing anything unlawful. I know they've got this crazy law about if you're caught in the gay act, as they call it, you're more than likely going to be banged up for 14 years behind bars. Now, I've said there's something similar in the previous episode, right? I can't remember what episode now. You see, do you know what's funny? The hypocrisy in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole, but in Nigeria now, is absolutely unbelievable. You see, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of gay people in the down low in Nigeria. In fact, one of the interesting ones, the fascinating ones, are the people that you and I see in the front end, and you perceive them as maybe heterosexual, straight dudes who are married or who's got girlfriend and whatnot. And in the down low, they're bisexuals. Some of them they're plainly gay. They're not exactly attracted to females, but because of the way the society is wired, because of shame and all that stuff, they keep up appearances. I don't want to name people, okay? I'm not here to point fingers, but there are many cross-dressers in Nigeria, apart from Bob Risky. Bob Risky is I'd say a bit spicy, bit colorful, whatever. But, for example, there's a guy called Denrele Edun. Denrele is actually a personality that I like, personally. I think it's wild, it's crazy. He's a TV personality. He's done so many projects. I don't know him in person. I watch him. He's crazy. He does all these flamboyant hairstyles and really high pump shoes and very colorful dress codes and stuff. Denrele is a cross-dresser. But at the same time, he's a smart dude, very articulate, well-informed. He does his stuff. He's contributed positively to Nigeria's entertainment industry. Presents. Dude does so many. Is he doing anything to infringe on the fundamental human rights of any other Nigerian? The answer from my point of view is no. Is he doing anything illegal? Not that I'm aware of. He's living his life. If I bump into him on the streets of the UK or Nigeria, if he's up for a chat, I'll have a chat with him. I'll say hello to him. So, because what I don't understand is there are major problems, which is the hypocrisy that exists in Africa. So I read there's a guy, the government official that said in the news, was it today? Bob Risky is trying to turn Nigeria to Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm thinking, are you mad? What is Sodom and Gomorrah? Sorry, I said Gomorrah. Is it Gomorrah? Whatever they call it in the Bible. He's a walking demon. How can a government official come, via the media and say that, and you can still keep, your senatorial seat? And what's amazing is, I personally, because I'm not going to make submissions that will be deemed as maybe defamatory and stuff. I'm fully aware, because you've got to be careful what you say. I don't know Bob Risky past what I see on social media, right? This is a dude who feels comfortable in his own skin. He enjoys cross dressing, right? He's living his own life. He's not doing anything to harm anybody. So, what right have you got to say? I mean, if he was engaging in what might be deemed as illegal, or, doing something unlawful that can be proved with evidences, that's a totally different, what's it called? A totally different conversation. The reason I'm pissed off is Nigeria churns out hundreds of thousands of graduates every year. We have very high rate of unemployment. Very, very high rate of unemployment. What you need to do, go to Nigeria, the average youth, 21 to 25-year-old or even a bit more. A lot of them can't articulate themselves properly. They can't even write properly. They talk with all the street slangs. Even though, because we live in an age where, someone say, hold on. A man who cross dresses and have a breast implant is gay. Listen. Until somebody comes out to admit, or until you have a rock solid evidence that he is gay, I don't think you have a bloody business to go around and say he's gay. And can I just say to you as well, so bloody what if he's gay? So what if he's gay? You can call me whatever, you should know. So what? Okay, I'm talking hypothetically now. I don't have any evidence. But so what if he is gay? Let's assume Bob Risky is gay. I'm just talking hypothetically. So what? Okay, somebody said he said he is gay. I don't know. I'm not personally, I'm not sure. But so what if he is? Who gives you the right over another person's life? I live here in the UK. You walk past. See what I've come to learn about. This is why I say to people, I exist outside the box, because we are raised with values whereby they expect you to think a certain way, behave a certain way, right? If he is gay, that's his bloody business. Whatever floats his boat. What pisses me off is how hypocritical the society is. There are so many guys, there are so many men in the Nigerian community that are smashing other dudes. In the front end, you and I see them as they're straight dudes. Some of them even have kids. Some of them are married. Some of them pose and take pictures in the public domain. There are stories. In fact, it's a common knowledge. There are guys that sleep with the likes of Bob Risky. I'm not suggesting that I know men that sleep with Bob Risky, but there are guys that actually spend a ton of money in the background and enjoy sex with people like that. I mean, I read comments online. I'm going back to, we live in a society where, because everything is deeply rooted in education, the educational system in Nigeria is almost nothing to write home about, because it's a wreck. It's a major wreck. All you need to do is engage your everyday youth that has just graduated from university. There is high level of unemployment. The government, the same government that's worried about Bob Risky. Bob Risky is influencing. There is a very high, astronomically high consumption of drug abuse in Nigeria. People that are aware, that are watching this, would agree with me. In parts of Nigeria, there are people that are on a daily basis importing deadly drugs and all this codeine and all these deadly things that the youths are turning to, right? There are so many things that's wrong. You see so many youths, some of them they don't have a CV. They can't put together a CV. You can't have a sensible conversation with them. They cannot articulate themselves effectively. They cannot even, you know why? Because the educational system is just absolute rubbish. What's it called, man? In Nigeria, you don't even have to complete your exams and all that. As long as you've got money, you can go and pay your professors and buy your grades and just get there. I've met people that tell you they graduated with first class, and you can't even sit down with them and have a 5 minute conversation around what they studied at university, what career path, and what they plan on doing. And you will be absolutely flabbergasted. You that is talking, can you allow Bob Risky as your son's mentor? Good. That's a very good point. I would tell you something, Tony Olua, Tony, whatever your name is. Now, can I allow Bob Risky to be my son's mentor? What's Bob Risky? What is Bob Risky going to be mentoring my son for? You see, I'm here to diffuse. I don't bloody care who agrees with me or not. I'm here to diffuse the hypocritical and the nonsensical thought process. People think they've earned the right, to tell other people how to live their life, right? Let me tell you something. Can I allow Bob Risky to be my son's mentor? Now let me shock you. I live here in the UK. Let me throw it back to you now. If you were a mom or you're a dad, you have a son or daughter in any of the schools here, and your son's class teacher is gay or even a cross-dresser, but the so-called teacher is bloody good at science or physics or whatever, and that person teaches your son or your daughter physics, and they are bloody good at that physics or the chemistry or whatever they are teaching your son or your daughter. Let me ask you a question. What are you going to do about it? I double dare you to go to school and go and tell them, I don't want this teacher teaching my son. Oh, because why? Oh, yeah, because he's a cross-dresser, because he's gay. Really? What's somebody's sexual orientation? I'm talking along the lines of human rights here. So you see what I encourage on my platform, you don't necessarily have to agree with me, but I encourage logical, sensible, out of the box type of conversation. So let me tell you, here's another thing I'm going to say to you. Do you know that child abuse, sexual abuse, and all those things that people experience is a lot closer to home, regardless of people's sexual orientation? How many uncles and aunties, how many dads and moms that you deem heterosexual have ended up raping women, raping young boys, raping young girls? So stop the nonsense by saying, oh, because somebody is the type of Bob Risky, would you let them be a mentor? When you say mentor, right? Mentor in what regard? Imagine if Bob Risky was good at fixing cars. He owns a car lot where they train people how to fix cars. So if my son goes there to register and learn, if Bob Risky can impact my son in that wise and how to fix cars, what does it matter? Because Bob Risky wears dresses. There are so many dudes. There are so many pastors and imams. There are so many uncles. There are so many cousins that you believe, you love them. You put them on pedestals. A lot of them are pedophiles. They are rapists. Because the whole thing is wrapped around, oh, this guy is not good enough because he's not the way you expect him to be, maybe sexually or in terms of appearance. I don't think you should use that to define a person. Oh, will you let him be your son's mentor? And if I can add to that, you should be your son or your daughter's number one mentor. If they grow up to be adults, when they fly out the nest, they can then decide to say, oh, I want to listen to the preaching from this guy. I want to read this book from T.D. Jakes. I want to read that book. I want that such and such to be my mentor. But if your child is growing under your wings in their formative years, you as a parent should do an amazing job. I think we worry too much about nonsense, and it's a lot of hypocrisy. The same people, the same Nigerians that would justify traveling abroad with fake documents, you want to be the same ones that will sit back and say Bobrisky doesn't deserve to exist. The same Nigerians that would carry drugs abroad, you want to tell Bobrisky, because I've not seen the guy's crying though. Apart from the fact that I don't believe in bleaching too. He bleaches, but that floats his boat. Why the fact that you would go bombard his party, shut down the party, I think is a breach of human rights. It's harassment. You cannot. It's harassment. Okay. Let's slow down a little bit, man. Let's slow down a little bit. Nigeria is the same country where men, adult men, on a daily basis in broad daylight get married to young girls. If you agree with me, give me a thumb up. Nigeria is the same government. They're not blind. They're not. I would love to believe the leaders, some of them are retarded. The same country where Nigerian government exists, young girls are being married off. Yes or no? The same society. See, my point here is, shouldn't we be worrying about creating jobs, providing basic amenities, fixing the roads, paying the pensions of those people that have served that nation selflessly? Shouldn't we be worried about protecting our young girls and young boys from those perverted uncles who can easily pay off your local policeman and cover their pedophilia? Shouldn't be worried about laws? Shouldn't we be worried about fumigating our deeply corrupt justice system? Shouldn't we be worried about those things? Shouldn't we be worried about the fact that you and I will travel to Nigeria and the immigration officers, both men and women, will accost you at the airport and start asking you for money, start harassing you? Shouldn't you be worried about those things? Shouldn't we be worried about the corrupt police officers? Shouldn't we be worried about the SARS that kill people like chickens every day? Nigerian police force that kill innocent Nigerians on a daily basis. There are videos on social media where innocent Nigerians are being assassinated every day. Nigeria is a place where you're walking on the street because you're a young dude. A police officer stops you. Hey, let me see your mobile phone. And then you pull out your mobile phone and then you say, dude, I'm just going down the post office, or I'm just going to run a couple of errands. Let me see your phone. And they seize your phone. There's nothing on your phone. And then they apply abuse of power, right? They detain you and they ask you for money. And if you're unlucky, they can get you killed. Shouldn't we? There's a guy called Showore. Showore basically was the previous election, the last election. As you know, it's a common knowledge. He tried to become the president of Nigeria and stuff. Now, because Showore called on the general public for what I deem as a sensible protest and stuff, the corrupt government didn't like it. Showore was abducted in the middle of the night in a hotel. Showore has been locked up for about roughly 30 days now, unlawfully. He has not been allowed a due process in the courts of law. Showore's lawyers filed applications on his behalf a few days ago. A corrupt judge declined to hear or list the application. Shouldn't we be amalgamating our voices and concentrate on things like that? That's a blatant abuse of human rights. This is what I'm saying. It's okay because, you and I can sit behind our mobile phones and our laptops and it's okay. Let me tell you something. Let me read something to you. This is what I'm talking about. The amount of the amount of hypocrisy that's deeply rooted in Africa. Let me read something to you. Um, in Africa, cross dressing has a rich, deep traditional history and was often a way of building a bridge between this world and the spiritual realms that tribal leaders needed to rule in peace and harmony. The Meru ritual leaders called Mugawe among the Meru of Kenya dress as women routinely and sometimes even marry other men. Among the Dagara of Burkina Faso, the cross dresser is said to be well integrated with into the community, occupying the performance role of intermediary between this world and the other world as a sort of gatekeeper. The Ambo of Angola had a special order of diviner called Omansenge, I hope I pronounced that properly, who dressed as women, did women's work, and contracted marriage with other men who might also be married to women. In the case of Zande of Central African Republic, cross-dressing was said to profit the diviner and would take place before consultation of oracles. All right? Now, um, that goes on. I just had to read that, okay? Nigeria is the same nation where we're neck deep in religiosity. Corruption is unbelievably high. Abduction, kidnapping, and the list goes on. The educational system is nothing to write home about. Holy nation of pedos. As we speak, I don't want to name any tribes, but there are certain tribes, as we speak, that can openly, and I mean openly being the objective word, openly marry children. Children, I mean children, right? Against their wish. Not a consenting adult, children. And some of these children, because they are not yet properly developed on the inside, right? A lot of them die during childbirth. A lot of them, their wombs get damaged. A lot of ugly things happen to them. If you don't believe me, jump on the plane to Nigeria and go and do your findings. It's right in the open. So I'm asking this government officials, these narrow-minded idiots that claim to be officials, what are you doing about those children, about women, domestic abuse? Let me tell you something, man. Misogyny, I digress. Misogyny is unbelievably rife in Nigeria. There are societies, there are communities as we speak right now, whereby if a woman has got an opinion, if you've got a view, if you've got something to say, you can't even say it. There are families where they think as soon as a wife, a female, you've gone to university, you're done with that, get to the man's house, go and start having babies. We have a lot of backwardness. I've seen youths, they graduate. Nigeria churns out huge number of youths every year in thousands. A ton of them. A ton of them. Don't worry about it. If, I don't mind if people don't agree with me. As long as you don't get personal and start, saying silly stuff. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can close and exit the page and don't come back. Exactly. Yes, misogyny is everywhere and not only in Africa. I didn't say that. But for the purposes of this video, I'm laser targeting my focus on Nigeria. We're talking about Africa now. So, of course, I'm aware that misogyny exists here in the UK, exists in the US, exists in other parts of the world. I'm thoroughly aware. So, my point is misplacement of priority. This is a case of bullying. This is a case of harassment. It's just a case of abuse. It's nonsensical. It makes no sense. One second. It makes no sense. Makes absolutely, thank you. It makes, look, I don't know, some people watching this, you might live in the West, you might live abroad like I do. Look, I'm talking about this passionately. You need to go to Nigeria, right? And you need to go and see how women suffer. The youngins that grow. Okay, let me give you a scenario now. It could be in an open market, and there's an argument between a male and a female, and the guy just bam gives her a dirty slap, and boom, 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 hey, leave her alone, leave her alone, leave her alone. 9 out of 10 times, she's gonna get the blame and say, "Oh yeah, because you're running your mouth and stuff." He's not gonna get done for that physical abuse. Do you get what I'm saying? And everyone just gets on with their day, like that's it. OTG, and the guy's not gonna get arrested, and everyone just carries on as normal. Even if the woman fights and she has someone to fight for her, and they go to the police station, 9 out of 10 times, the guy will be able to, give money to the police, and then they'll probably let him off. All I'm saying here is there are Phrankleen, women in my state are in charge of the men. That's Imo State. They beat the nonsense out of the men's ass. You see, all I'm saying is there is a lot of pressing problems in that country, man. Why do we do this? You see people that, if we find you on the street, it says a lot about you that holds that public office, because we are encouraging. Do you know what that, now let me say something before I forget. You see, what that encourages is people are going to jump on that bandwagon when you have government officials who are making baseless threats, who are openly harassing people that have not broken any laws. So what, bro, can you accept your son to marry the he or she? I'm going to answer that question now. Can you accept your son to marry the he or she? Good. I'm going to educate you in a moment. I love this. You see, let me let you in on a little secret. As I'm talking to you, I'm a grown man. Regardless of how I was raised, whatever values my parents instilled in me, yeah? At this point in my life, I'm a grown man. There are some decisions that I make, there are some views that I have that my mom or my dad may not align with, but there is absolutely nothing they can do about it. You know why? I'm an adult. I don't exist under their control anymore. So all I'm trying to say here is the choices that I make within the confines of my adulthood, they are my choice. It's just the same thing. Let's talk about tribalism. Let me digress quickly. Do you know how many times someone comes from an Igbo family? Your mother and father will say to you, Emeka, you must not marry that woman. Not because she's a bad woman, not because she's sleeping around, or because she's Yoruba, right? And then you know that Emeka knows he loves Yetunde, and then you defy your mom and dad's, wishes and say, Dad, Mom, I love her. She's the love of my life. And you go on and marry Yetunde and you enjoy your life with Yetunde. But deep down inside, your mom and dad wants you to marry an Igbo woman just because they think they can control you. But what I want to say to respond to that question is, if I raise my kids in the best possible way that I know as a dad, when they become an adult, if my son turns around tomorrow and says, it comes out and say, Dad, I'm gay, there is nothing I can do about it. You bloody hypocrites. There is absolutely nothing. And I would bet with you, your average closed-minded Nigerian, you're running to the church, and that's where you even go deeper into the hole. There is nothing you can do about it. If your son, your adult son or daughter comes out and say, Dad, Mom, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, there is nothing. Yes, I get it. Deep down inside. Yesterday, you are kini, checking what? There is nothing you can do about it. Because let me tell you something. If the child says to you that, oh, Dad, this is the love of my life, and he brings on a dude, and you are banging your head against the wall, I'm not accepting it. You cannot marry a man. No way. I would disown you. Let me tell you, at this time and age, before you even think of pronouncing disown, they're gone. What are you going to do? Did you get what I'm saying? People are making a big mistake. People are talking about homosexuality. I get it. The government is saying homosexuality is illegal. They've made that law. But you are calling Bob Risky homosexual. So this is what I say to people. This is just a logical statement. What evidence of homosexuality do you have against Bob Risky in line with Nigerian laws? A lot of people just jump on the bandwagon. It's okay to hate on him, to throw mud, to go and bar and say all sorts of nasty stuff to the guy. Just leave him alone, man. Nigeria is unbelievably homophobic. Some of your leaders, they come to the West to get their backside rammed into because they enjoy it. They come here and they book their gay partners, and so they enjoy themselves in the expensive hotels off the back of the taxpayer in Nigeria, and they go back to Nigeria with their wives into their senates and their respective governmental positions and stuff. A lot of hypocrisy. This is why I talk about how religion has basically smashed into smithereens the mindset of the average person. You think if your son or your daughter comes out as gay, hey, oh yeah, pastor, let's go, pastor, you look at Jesus. You are lying. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your bloody time. It's like if I turn out to become a fraudster, yeah? I can assure you that my parents did not raise me as a fraudster. As an adult, Phrankleen made the choice to go in that direction. So, what do you think my mom or my dad is going to be able to do about it? They are in the evening part of their lives as we speak. They can what are they going to do about it? Those are my choices. If somebody feels comfortable in their skin to cross-dress, so be it. There are important things to worry about. There are important things. Okay, I'll give you an example. So somebody was telling me recently, a man, his daughter graduated from university here in the UK. And guess what? She showed up. Look at this one. I'm going to address you. I'm going to address you. I haven't got time, man. I haven't got time for this. I'll address you. You are being hypocritical. Deep down in your heart, you wouldn't take it. You're not listening. You need to learn to listen and comprehend basic stuff. Right? I'm going to address you. You know me. I don't pretend. Let me tell you. I said it earlier and I'm going to say it again. Regardless of how you raised your kids, yeah? Even if you tell them every day, don't talk, how am I going to say? Don't get with somebody because being gay is going to send you to hellfire. Bull crap. I'm assuming, right? You tell them this and this and this. Let me tell you, man, if your child grows up, they get out of your house, they are adults now. They are fully grown. And then your son comes knocking, Dad, this is Steve. Okay, hello, hi Steve. This is my partner, myself and Steve. I've been dating now for the past 1 year and stuff. Dad, we're about to get married. We want to settle down. And yay! You want to? And your son says, Dad, I love Steve. Steve is the love of my life. Yeah, what I'm saying to you is, yes, you do not agree, but you can't do nothing about it. What's the worst an African parent is going to do? I disown you. They will relocate from here. They're going to China. What are you going to do about it? What, you're going to kill him? You're going to kill the child? Do you know how many African parents that are heartbroken because their son smokes weed or because their daughter drinks? Do you know how many? Some of you watching this is why I talk about hypocrisy. Your average African parent would say, oh, my daughter married as a virgin. But you sat on more pipes than your mother. You know that whenever you want a dick, you know how to go get that dick. Did you honor your mom and dad? Even you as a dude, they will say to you, keep yourself for your woman, because the Bible says blah, blah, blah. But you got to get that vagina. Though. This is not about supporting evil. This is about being real, respecting other people, tolerating other people. Don't have an entitlement to wish death on other people and hate on other people. So bloody what if he's a cross-dresser? How is Bob Risky infringing on your human right? It's just a honest question. He has the right to live his life. But you know what's funny? The same Nigerians that are clamoring for this guy to be beheaded and be dealt with or be jailed, if the guy asks you in his DMs, hey man, give me your bank details, man, and he puts ₦1 million in your bank account right here, right now, that bank detail, that ₦1 million does not have cross-dressing written on it. You would take that money and you would spend it. You bloody hypocrite. Leave the geezer alone. Leave him alone. That's all I'm saying. Oh, are you saying you're going to allow Bob Risky to be your son's mentor? Just look at your fundamentally, ridiculously, unbelievably flawed argument. Some of these people can't even articulate themselves. You drive me up the goddamn wall, man. Leave him alone. In Nigeria, in broad daylight, they're marrying off young girls. There are no jobs. Women get sexually violated. And then you're telling me crap about Bob Risky is turning Nigeria to Sodom and Gomorrah. Are you out of your bloody mind? If you and I jumped on the plane from Heathrow now, we touch on the ground in Nigeria in few hours. They will harass us from the gate to the exit, asking us for money, patting us down and stuff. They will make it difficult for you. Everybody, virtually everybody is a fraudster. Is that Bob Risky's fault? Girls, young girls as young as 8, 10-year-old are being married off. There is no jobs. Dude, he's made a brand for himself, and I think he sells body creams or hair, whatever he sells. That's his business, man. That's his business. We worry too much about nonsense. I have to look for a way so that you people can call in, I need to start calling so people can call in, we can have chats and stuff. Bob Risky is the least of Nigeria's problems. A lot of these people in the justice system, in the policing system, in the military, in the House of Senate, in the House of Reps, that violate young children, abuse young children. They do it 24/7. What are you saying? That forcefully sleep with both men and women against their wish, and they use their money to ring fence around them. What do you do about it? There are millions of youths without jobs. They're drinking codeine. You have an average Nigerian youth, they can't even articulate themselves properly. You're talking to them about, oh, so what are you doing about your career? What jobs are you looking for? Who you help? What? An average Nigerian youth can't write a couple of paragraphs about their background. You can ask them to write a formal letter. They can't. I'm not saying it out of spite. I'm saying it out of a broken heart. Because why? The educational system is absolute shambles. Pronunciations are terrible. You see someone, a bunch of people gave you a surprise. They gave you presents for your birthday and stuff. So instead of you to say, oh, thank you so much for your kindness. It means so much to me. You've touched my heart so much. You guys are fantastic. You guys are great. Thank you for making my day a special one. You guys are busting my head. As in serious, like seriously, you're busting my head. I'm like, this is an average Nigerian youth. You guys are busting my head. What does that mean grammatically? You're busting my head. How am I busting your head? How? Báwo mo ṣe ń bọ́ story ẹ̀? And then these are the same people that are gonna go to what do you call visa interviews, job interviews, and they can't articulate themselves. It's not about being able to speak English is not regarded as some luxury. That's not what I'm saying here. But the background is fundamentally flawed, man. Look at the number of what do you call the number of fraudsters in Nigeria. Look at the spiking number of fraudsters in Nigeria as we speak. Virtually every day you see the news, you see on platforms like Instablog and stuff, all these Yahoo boys. You know why? There are no jobs. So they are turning to everything and anything. I'm not justifying criminality. I'm just saying the fabric of the society is unbelievably damaged. The goddamn government has sat there siphoning the funds. They are robbing the nation blind. And so on, Bobrisky. Ori iti buru. Ori gbogbo iti daru. The stupid policemen. What tell you followed yourselves. You went to a Bobrisky's party to shut down a party. Look at the nation. If you travel from Lagos to Ibadan, there is checkpoints at every 2-5 miles. They are fleecing you. They're asking for money. The corruption is unbelievable. Don't worry about me, man. I don't even want to buru say. I don't with it, bobo. I'm talking to someone. I'm not going to name anybody. This is somebody who is high up in the government, the state government office. And the dude came to the UK, and I bumped into him not too long ago. This is somebody who is high up in this state government. I'm not going to name the person. We're having a conversation, and the guy is talking about. Yeah, I forget when it happened. I think when, around Kini, it was said that so he was. I forget when. This is somebody who holds a public office in Nigeria. Nobody is asking you for American accent. Nobody's asking you for British accent. That's not what we're talking about here. Chai. These are people that are running the nation. And then you have the audacity to talk about Bobrisky. Hey, this guy. Look, man. Just leave the guy alone, man. Leave and let leave. There's a lot more, better things or important things, should I say. I hope Bobrisky can find himself what do you call it now? A very good lawyer that can fight his corner. I hope he's sensible enough. It's a blatant abuse and breach of human rights and stuff. Anyway, that's me done. Yeah, it's a bit of a rant, It's a bit of a. It pisses me off. I'm always passionate about topics, That's what the platform is for. Say it like it is, man. It's about 48 minutes, nearly 50 minutes. And you see those people. I know. Fred Johnson. I'm talking about lawyers in Nigeria. Only most of them. I'm just saying, the likes of Falano are there. They're trying. The number of good lawyers is very, very minute. They're mostly corrupt, man. The justice system is unbelievable. But hey, there are far more, man. There are far more important things to worry about. Thank you for watching. It's your boy Phrankleen. Yeah, I've managed to work myself up this afternoon. Do enjoy what's left of your Sunday. And if you haven't, show your love, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Peace and love. Bye now.